So this is what the cloud community version of Databricks look like. So to get to this particular version only, if you simply type Databricks, you will be redirected to Enterprise Edition where you won't get this functionalities. I want to use the cloud for free. And to do that, make sure that you go to this exact link only, which is community.cloud.databricks.com. And once you go there, you have to either create an account or log into your existing account. I assume that you have not created an account yet, so just click on the sign up button and follow the steps to create your account. As I already have my account, I'm going to pass my mail ID over here and I will get a verification code, which I will get from the link right over here. It's U9Y7PF. So U9Y7PF. Once I pass this verification code, I will get this home page right over here. So the main thing over here is that this is a free version. So you are using Databricks Community Edition. Upgrade for unlimited clusters and collaboration features. Means on this version right now, I cannot do collaboration or I cannot create multiple clusters. Now we are going to use Apache Spark, and the reason we are going to use pyspark, which is a Python API for Apache Spark, is because we want to understand the power of parallel processing throughout different clusters that we have. But for this video, we are not going to have multiple clusters. We are going to have a single cluster. But still, I want to show you the power of this whole community, whole cloud platform, which is Databricks. So even when you go to a company or an organization over there, if you get to use it, you would at least know what are the features that the Databricks provide. And then you will be easily able to connect with the Enterprise Edition as well, because it's not, again, that difficult to understand certain new features once you are clear with the basics. So the first thing that this cloud platform offers us is a online computer, you can say. So what happens is, cloud is not like you have everything on the space. It's not like that. Cloud is basically, there is a person having a lot of computers just like your computer. And you are paying that person. Let's say I want to pay to use your computer for the next 2 hours virtually through the internet. So he will reserve those particular allocations for you, like memory, RAM, or anything else like storage, or maybe if you want to use some routers, anything that you can do on your own space, on your own setup, you can do the same thing on the cloud. So this Databricks is a cloud platform. It provides us to create a cluster, which is like to create a compute for us, to create in simple words, to create a computer for us. But there are some limitations. As we are using the community edition, you cannot create a cluster for more than 2 hours. You cannot create more than one cluster. And there are some other limitations as well, like you cannot collaborate with others. But still, you will get a good intuition about this overall platform after this video. And you will be ready to go. If someone says you want to work on a Enterprise Edition with others, it won't be a big challenge for you. With that note said, let's go to this compute right over here. If you see this compute is basically you are creating a computer for you. You can say like that. Compute is like the memory, the resources you are going to create over here. Right now, we don't have any active resource. And on this platform, you can only create a resource for 2 hours. After that, it will automatically terminate. Terminate means now you cannot use that resource. So you have to click over here on create compute. And after you do that, you can see over here, we are getting runtime 12.2, LTS, Scala 2.12, and Spark 3.32. So we are going to use Spark for this video. Spark is basically a open source platform for large data processing or big data processing. And to use Spark in Python, we have got an API, which is pyspark Python API, which allows us to use the functionalities of Spark to perform parallel computing and to handle the big data for analytics and processing. Right now, we are only going to create a single cluster. So using Spark is not going to be that reliable. Still, on industry scale, you will use Spark and it will be reliable because they are going to have multiple clusters for you to use. With that note, just leave everything else as it is. You don't have to click on or change anything. Just read this because it's important to read which Spark version we are using, which Scala version we are using. And yeah, that's it. You just have to create on this compute right over here. Once you do that, you will be headed towards this Mayank Parekh's cluster. And now this cluster will take some time to run. And once it is active, we can create a Jupyter notebook. We can upload our data files to this particular platform and do the further processing. So let's wait. It can take from 5 to 10 minutes depending on the cloud service. So let's wait and see once it is up and actively running. Okay. So now you can see my cluster is active. If I click on this cluster over here, you will see that it is active as I'm getting this green button. I can even terminate this cluster if I want, and I can view the JSON, I can clone the cluster, I can restart the cluster, and I can delete the cluster. So now I will go to this notebooks. Currently, I don't have any notebooks connected to this cluster, but very soon we are going to connect a Python IPYMB notebook to this cluster. For the libraries part, right now I have not installed any libraries. But if you go to this new install, you can see over here, we can assign a path to the library right over here, or we can add a S3 path to the library. We can use this PyPy, which is my Python package to install the library. So if I want to, let's say, install the matplotlib, which we are eventually going to install in this video. So for that, I just have to type matplotlib like this. And as soon as I press enter, it will take some time, but it will install this matplotlib library to this cluster to use in our Python library. Okay. So just wait for some time. Similarly, how you install in your local computer, pip install matplotlib, it is going to do the same thing, but now in your cluster, in your compute, in the cloud. Okay. So wait for some time. It can take up to 1 or 2 minutes, not more than that. Yeah, one more thing I want to add. But before that, you can see over here, it is installed in our local computer, in our cloud computer. So now when you click on this new, you can see over here, we have the notebook, we have the experiments as well. We are going to see this crazy feature as well. But for now, we are going to just add or upload data. So when you click on this, you will be redirected to this page. Either you can pass on your S3, and over here, earlier on, they provided like the features to add the S3. But now what they are saying is, if you want to add S3 bucket, you have to specify everything in the notebook itself. You cannot specify over here. So earlier they provided the feature of specifying right over here. But now if you want to plug in your S3 bucket, you have to just pass on the parameters or the configuration keys in your notebook itself. Right now, we are not going to use S3 bucket. We are simply going to just upload the files that we have. So what files we are going to upload? We are going to upload our users data.csv file as it is. We are going to upload our cards data.csv file as it is, and our transactions file, which we filtered only for the MX transaction just before this particular slide. Okay. So I will pass on those files. You'll probably not see my, So you will go to your data directory and just pass on the cards data as well as the user data. Once you are done with this, you can see over here, we are getting it file uploaded to file stores/table. Make sure that your files are uploaded over here only. And if you want to access it, you have to pass on this path right over here. I'm going to also pass my other file, which is going to be my mxfiltered transactions.csv. We already created it just now, so you have to just pass this. Although this file is having very less number of transactions, to be precise, around 5 lakh or 5,70,000, and still it's almost like 36.7 MB, but still very less than our initial transaction file, which was 1.2 gigabytes. So after doing it, either you can create a notebook right over here, but I've already created. So you just have to click on this and you will also create a notebook. And this is how your workspace will have your notebook. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to connect this notebook to the cluster. You guys have probably already connected it. If not, then you just have to click over here and your recent resource, you just have to connect the notebook with the compute. And now you can see it is connected with the Mayank Parekh's cluster. After this, I want to check what files are available in my database. You will probably initially you will not get this because I created a separate folder as Mayank as well. That's why I got it over here. But if I run this code now and wait for certain seconds, you can see the files that I have in my dataset are mxfiltered transactions.csv, as well as you can see I have this cards data.csv, and then I have this random folder which you will not see, don't worry. And then I have this users data.csv. So these are all the files and folders that are available in my files store. In that also I have another folder as table, and in that tables folder I have all the CSV files. So this is the location for our files that we have. Now, before we move on and talk about PySpark, we will first take an intuition about why we need to use the PySpark and what are the benefits of using the PySpark. So I will explain you this with a good presentation. But before that, let's just understand the flow of what we are going to do in this notebook. We are first going to clean our users and cards dataset. If you have already watched my previous video, you know that there are several values which needs to be cleaned, like our credit limit, our yearly income are not of type integer or float. They are of type string because they have a dollar sign before the numbers. And we have to clean that data in order to process it correctly. After that, we are going to put some merging and feature selection for making our data ready to apply the machine learning model. We are going to apply two machine learning models over here, and we are going to apply two different metrics over here as well. I will explain about that just after some time. But before that, let's first try to understand why do we use Apache Spark or PySpark instead of simple pandas and sklearn. So yeah, this was the best definition I could come up with. PySpark is a Python API for Apache Spark, an open source distributed computing framework designed for big data analytics and processing. It allows developers to interact with Spark using Python, leveraging the Spark's powerful capabilities for large-scale data manipulation, transformation, and analysis. We are going to see all these three things, which is data manipulation, transformation, and analysis in this video. Apart from these, the key features that the PySpark provide is scalability and speed. Since now we are not going to run the whole code on a single machine, but we are going to take advantages of running the code across multiple clusters or multiple machines. Ease to use is because PySpark is really easy to understand. We'll see just now how easy it is. It can be a bit overwhelming for some people, but it's completely fine. You just have to spend some time around this code and you will understand all the features that the PySpark has to offer. And then there is a word which is hard for me to read, but I know what it is doing right now. So following are the things that PySpark can do is really good at. And we are going to see the first three things in this video, which is data extraction. We are going to extract the data from CSV file. We are going to transform the data, and then we are going to load the data to a data frame. Structured data processing. Again, PySpark offers SQL and data frames. Just like Pandas is offering us the data frame feature, PySpark also offers the same feature. We have a mlib library in PySpark which can be used to perform machine learning operations. And regarding other two, real-time analytics and graph processing, we'll see that in the further episodes, but I don't know whether I'm going to make videos for them. But for this video, we are going to cover up the first three things. And to be precise in that also, we are going to talk about classification problem, because we are classifying whether a transaction is a fraud transaction or not.